In this video, I want to survey the basics of scope management. How to manage scope on your project. There are three main areas of scope management: establishing your scope, documenting your scope, and actually managing it. So, what are the main things that fall in each? Under establishing scope, the first thing we do is we collect requirements from users and from stakeholders. And then we start to facilitate a negotiation among those users, among those stakeholders, to prioritize the requirements that they want against the resources we have available to deliver them. And finally, we produce a scope statement which defines the scope of what we're going to do, and also the exclusions, an explicit statement of what we are not going to do, the areas where we are going to disappoint some of our stakeholders. Now we need to document our scope. And to do that, we build a work breakdown structure, and from our work breakdown structure, we create a WBS, a work breakdown structure dictionary. And I have a whole video on how to create a work breakdown structure for you to refer to. Next, we need to look at the acceptance criteria for each of the products or deliverables on our work breakdown structure. What are the standards they need to conform to, and what do we need to check in order to sign them off? And finally, in this arena, we need to validate the scope. We need to take all of the work we've done, our work breakdown structure and WBS dictionary, and our acceptance criteria, back to our stakeholders and check that they are satisfied with them. This isn't about reopening negotiations, it's about making sure, firstly, that we've properly interpreted the outcome of those negotiations, and secondly, that there has been no material change while we have been doing this work. The final arena of scope management is controlling scope. During the delivery of the project, we need to be monitoring what's going on with respect to scope, and of course, we have to be controlling changes to scope. And change control is an important topic in itself that we've covered elsewhere. But scope management does not sit on its own. It has important interactions with every other aspect of the project. But there are some where the interactions are bigger and more evident. And the first of those is with benefits management, with building the business case and establishing the budget. Because the bigger the scope, the more the benefits, but also the bigger the budget you'll need to deliver it. Secondly, in setting the acceptance criteria, we're going to overlap deeply with the whole discipline of quality management and quality control and quality assurance, quality design processes. And finally, because we will need to change scope from time to time as events dictate, then scope management will also interact a lot with things like configuration management, version control, document management, and information management in general. And during the delivery or implementation stage of your project, there will be a number of ongoing scope management activities. Each of these is a subject in its own, but some of the main ones are resource management, making sure you allocate and deploy the resources you have, both human resources and materials and equipment, to each of the scope areas. You'll need to be constantly communicating both with your team members and with your stakeholders to make sure they understand the scope that you're delivering and how progress is going. You'll need to monitor delivery. And in thinking about acceptance, you've got the ongoing processes of quality assurance to make sure that delivery is to quality specification, and quality control to check after delivery that each product meets its criteria. Then, of course, there is change control, the process of considering and either accepting or rejecting requests for change to the scope or to the specifications. And finally, following on from the change control process, we've got configuration management and version control of all the documentation. Scope management is a core part of the project management discipline. There is a lot to it, but many people don't understand what all of the components are, so I hope I have explained them clearly for you. Please do give a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. I'll be creating loads more great project management content for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.